What's up, your boy? For another reaction, in today's video we have Forgotten Flash Game Gems by Yap Jitsu. Let's get into it. Flash games. But I could do these reactions all day, my nigga, for real. I love this shit.
Browser and instantly play something that would keep you entertained for hours as a kid. Some of the best Flash games, though, have basically just been forgotten.
Oh, total jerk face.
So I want to look at a few Flash game gems that absolutely deserve to be remembered. I don't know if anyone else felt this way, but did you ever just click on a random Flash game years ago and play it for hours and wonder why you can't stop? Even though I had a console when Flash games were
What y'all know about Adventure Quest, my nigga? Like, what, bro? What y'all know about this, bro?
most popular, there'd be some times where I'd rather just play a weird little browser game someone made for fun. Most of the time, these games were either super violent, super ridiculous, or made zero sense at all. And half the time, that's what made them memorable in the first place. A lot of Flash games were total nonsense, but I swear they had more personality than most games today. They just existed in this weird little internet world where anything could happen. Also, at the end of me explaining each game, I'm gonna give them a little score on the gem scale, basically just how goated the game was to me overall. It doesn't really have to do anything with objectively being good. But now that that's said, the first game I want to talk about is Bartender the Right Mix. I remember loading on this game totally by accident as a kid. You mix drinks for this bartender guy, and there was a ton of different combinations that could have different effects. I guess the goal was to make him proud, like he's the Gordon Ramsay of mixed drinks or something. Some of these drinks would make him just straight up die, others he'd explode, I don't even know. I spent like 15 minutes just throwing random ingredients together, mostly because I just want to see how violent of a reaction I could get out of him. It's less of a game and more of one of those old browser titles like Whack Your Boss that just let you click stuff and watch an animation happen. I'm giving this one a 6 on the gem scale out of 10. Next up is Gunblood. This game was pretty popular a while ago, so I remember it kind of clearly.
Oh my god.
The cowboy quick draw duel game, I'm sure you've played it. You pick a character, wait for a 3-second countdown, and when the screen says fire, you're supposed to just click your mouse over and over and over again before the other guy does, and whoever kills the other person faster wins the duel. Remember, you only get 6 shots though. The way the enemies move was pretty weird. It was slow and kinda tense because you're staring at them, waiting for them to click at the right moment, and then there's this little rhythm you almost get into. It was fun though, going from guy to guy just clicking and hoping it works out for you. It's not anything flashy or crazy, but it was satisfying and pretty challenging. I'm sure a lot of you remember this game, like I said. Back then, a lot of kids were playing it when I was in school, and this is when games had to be edgy, violent, or just over the top in some dramatic way. This one fits right in. I'm giving Gunblood an 8 out of 10 on the gem scale. Now we got one that was more popular than I remember, and that game's Territory War. This one was addictive with friends. I used to play it at sleepovers and stuff all the time. You had these little stick figure armies, and you'd take turns shooting at each other across a tiny map. The early 2010s were obsessed with stick figure games and stick figure animations. Everything had to be a stick figure. I kinda miss those times though. Territory War had horrible physics that made no sense, but it had them, and that was the fun of the game.
I never played this.
It's basically like Worms if you ever played it.
Oh, Worms, yeah.
Kind of just take turns and throw stuff at each other like bombs and try to get the other people knocked off the map. The premise was pretty simple. There was a few different maps you could choose from though, which was pretty cool. There was an obnoxious soundtrack that I kind of liked though, but I can't play it for copyright reasons. It's crazy though that Flash games used to be able to basically play anything, like music-wise, depending on where they were platformed. Territory War did get pretty repetitive though, even though I enjoyed the game. It's kind of one of those games where you just move on to the next game and forget about it for a while and randomly remember it years later. What am I even saying on this script? Every game on this list is like that. Territory War gets a 6.7 on the gem scale. Next up is Bloody Rage 2. This one always felt so cursed to me because it was like someone just dumped a bunch of parodies of
I never played this.
popular IPs into an ugly fighting game. You pick from this bizarre lineup of characters like Spider-Man, Freddy Krueger, Jason, Obama, and maybe a few others you definitely shouldn't be using in the same game. And you just fight with these horribly janky controls. They're awful. And the whole thing feels pretty weird. I don't want to use the word unsettling. I mean, maybe if you're a kid, but it did feel really weird. I don't know. Look at it. It honestly had some charm to it, though, and that's why I put it on this list in the first place. And they definitely made an attempt with the combat system, which I'm all for. I can respect that. The game was clunky as hell, though, and the first attempt at a 3D fighting game in Flash, it was never really built for it. The controls are slow, and once you've done a fight or two, there's nothing left the game has to offer. So yeah, it's messy, kinda pointless, but totally bizarre, and that's exactly why I put it on here. This game gets a 3 out of 10 on the gem scale for trying. Now is one that I was pretty excited to talk about, and that's Divine Intervention, and I'll be honest, for a Flash game, it's pretty badass. You're a priest walking around with a gun through a city overrun by demons and zombies. Yeah,
What the
very
fuck?
early 2010s Flash game right
Yeah, I know played some of these.
there. It's a side scroller and all the zombies are coming at you from the front. Oh my gosh, these things used to scare me as a kid. I mean, just like look at them though, like they're pretty creepy. Just walking around in this game, you can tell shock value
Man, that nigga eating them bullets. What the fuck?
is what they were going for, but I do respect the art style and just art in general in this game. I do like it. This is what you get in 2010s with Flash games though, just complete violence. And I remember at this time period when I was young, the internet felt kind of scary because you had sites like LiveLeak and Best Score, so it just
Mm-hmm.
made Flash games like this like feel like a place
Remember a nigga at my damn school gonna show me a video on best gore. Like nigga gonna pull that shit in the middle of class.
you're not supposed to be on, really. Which honestly, I never was probably supposed to be playing these games at like 10 years old.
Niggas
Probably not the
going.
best for me, yeah. But Divine Intervention was still cool as hell, and I was really hyped to beat this game. It has a super cool final boss at the end, and I don't know, there's a lot of ducking and jumping over. It's pretty choreographed, and I like that. They tried a lot with this game, you can tell. 9 out of 10 on the gem scale for sure. The only reason it's not a 10 is because it needs more replay value. It's so short. I'm editing this video right now and forgot to mention this game has an absolute banger that plays the whole time too. Now we get into another fun one, which was The Last Stand Union City. And okay, this might be my favorite Flash game ever made. I'm probably a little biased too because
I think I played this before.
I spent way too much time on this game as a kid. I remember going to Armor
Yeah, I played this before. Yeah.
Games, loading this up, and then just disappearing into it for hours. It was the closest thing we had to a real zombie survival game in browser back then. Unlike a lot of other Flash games we've talked about so far, Union City actually gave you room to breathe and explore. You weren't just bouncing from one screen to the next. You could wander around in this big messed up city, clear buildings, find weapons, and survive against zombies. You could even find survivors that give you quests or follow you. It felt a lot more alive than most Flash games. And it had you manage stuff like your health, your
Yeah,
gear,
I
all that
played
stuff.
this
It was
before.
really a full RPG survival game. The story was pretty surface level, you're just looking for your partner, but I remember how intense it felt walking through these streets for the first time. You clear one room and think you were safe, and the next hallway could be flooded with zombies you didn't see coming. The levels in this game were interconnected in one map too, which almost made it feel open world, and it had a day and night cycle, and everything from the sounds, the gunshots, to the cool gear and weapons you can get was almost perfect. And one of the craziest part is, this game didn't just stay a memory. There's modern versions of Last Stand made for PC and consoles, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool. But yeah, Last Stand Union City was the first Flash game to me that felt like an actual world you could lose yourself in. 10 out of 10 on the gem scale for me. Next up is Crush the Castle, specifically the second game, and oh man, these
Nah, I never played this.
games were satisfying as a kid. You just sling giant rocks, bombs, or whatever you can at castles and watch everything crumble. There's no story, no rules, just chaos and destruction. I'd spend like 10 minutes tweaking the angle or the power just to see how much damage I could do. Some castles would explode perfectly and other ones would barely wobble. But it was always pretty funny to just watch a tiny piece of rubble take a guy out completely across the screen. Absolute nonsense, but this game's iconic. It's the perfect mix of simple and addictive. 8 out of 10 on the gem scale. Next up is Adventure Quest, and no, not Worlds. I really don't like that game, honestly, but I do like
Damn.
Adventure Quest. It was an MMORPG, you pick a class, level up, fight monsters,
Yeah, you don't like Adventure Quest Worlds? Damn, for real?
and collect gear. You could log in anywhere as long as you had a computer.
Yeah, nah, this trash. This the original one. I ain't like this one. Nah, I like Worlds.
Adventure Quest was pretty huge back then. It really made me feel like Flash games could carry a full RPG experience right in your browser, which was insane at the time. Adventure Quest is going to get a 7.5 on the gem scale.
The fuck? What the fuck you mean cutscene?
Severely underrated, and it's Champions of Chaos. I used to always play this game with
I
my
never
sister
played this.
because you get a team of 2 characters that you both control, so we'd just keep switching the mouse whenever it was our character's turn, and that was a lot of fun. This game wasn't perfect, and it honestly looks like a meme sometimes, but it was pretty good for a turn-based action game. At least a Flash one. I spent so many hours on this one though, trying to figure out which champion was actually worth leveling and which one I liked most. And I used to rage like crazy if I died in this game because you get one-shotted by enemies and it was super hard if you didn't understand it. The animations are messy, the sound effects are all over the place, and the arena designs are just ugly sometimes, but this game had strippers you can buy called pets, which is also interesting. I don't know why I said but, like that's a plus of the game. I mean, I guess you could look at it that way. Also, this game is how I figured out about bit crushed audio, which is pretty cool.
Sorry, this is the queue for the outsiders to enter the arena tournament, right?
It's one of those games where the jankiness isn't even a flaw, it's part of the charm. Watching your little team slowly grow, stomping over enemies that were way bigger than them, hitting
My white niggas love them MMORPGs. This are RPGs.
criticals that explode into a mess of ugly colors, that's what makes it sick. Looking back, it's kind of insane that a Flash game even pulled this off because I have no clue who the developers were. I mean, Llama Games or whatever. Yeah, shout out to these guys. I wish this game was more popular back then. I feel like I was really the only one who knew about it. 12 out of 10 on
Yeah, because I never played this before.
the gem scale for pets. Last is Swords and Sandals, but specifically Solo Ultras.
I played this. Y'all remember this Swords and Sandwich? Yeah, I played this.
Honestly, this is my favorite Flash game ever, not Union City, this right here. You create a chopped-ass gladiator, pick your weapons, and start working your way through these arenas, and it's very ridiculous, from tiny goblins to massive Yeti humans, and even
Yup.
some completely bizarre monsters that make you stop and wonder what the designers were smoking. It's funny that this game is turn-based because I never really liked turn-based games, but this is the third turn-based game on this list. I remember playing it for hours, trying to figure out the best builds and strategies so my gladiator could finally make it through the boss arenas. There's something about the progression too. You start as a tiny, weak fighter and slowly level up, buy new gear, and suddenly you're taking down these big, geared enemies. It's the perfect mix of frustration and reward. Swords and Sandals is pure nostalgia, and it really shows how Flash games can make these small, focused experiences feel huge. It breaks the gem scale. And that's it for part 1 of the wildest, most memorable Flash games. And you heard me, part 1. Some of these games were rough, some were ridiculous, and some actually had a lot of potential.
Yeah, you pulled out some ball. You know ball, so you pulled out some gems, my nigga. Games I hear about in a while.
Especially for the time they were created. I wonder what a lot of these devs are doing nowadays. I know a lot of them either moved to Steam or mobile. If you have a favorite Flash game I didn't mention or a memory from these old days, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear
They
it.
need to make a 3D version of this game.
And as always, have a wonderful day.
Oh, make sure to come subscribe and vote 2Cs. You know what I was playing? Another game I was playing? I was just playing Douchebag Simulator. I played this shit like a couple days ago.